everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie and today I thought I would quick take you along as I cook supper. So this is kind of a typical meal in our Mennonite, or what you call ex-Mennonite home. It comes out of the recipe, so we're gonna have meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and maybe we'll have corn. Frozen corn. My gosh, I couldn't even think of the word. It comes out of a book called Favorite Family Foods, and it's a Mennonite cookbook. I don't know if you can still find it or not. It was a hand-me-down from my mom. So we're going to make delicious meatloaf. So I just, to give you, because these are not my recipes, but I have changed a few of them a little bit because I use more ground beef and I changed some things. I'm going to link or put the recipe in the description in the video. As well, if you follow me on Instagram at thisboymom_life, I will save it in my recipe highlights as well. So let's get started. So I have 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm gonna bring you down here. So we've got 2 pounds of ground beef, and it calls for 1 cup of milk or tomato juice. Now I had tomatoes left in the fridge, just canned diced tomatoes, and so I just quick blended them up. So we're going to add that. And because we are still in the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge, I'm trying to use up things that I have in my fridge or pantry. So the next thing is breadcrumbs, and I made breadcrumbs just the other day. I store mine in the freezer in a double Ziploc bag because I don't want them to go stale. So that finishes up 1 package. So it's 2/3 to 1 cup breadcrumbs. I use 1 cup because I use a little bit more liquid because I'm using more meat. So, okay, next we've got onions and stuff, and I'm going to add in my eggs. These are our farm fresh eggs. So 2 eggs. And let's see what else. We've got parsley, salt, pepper. So 1 teaspoon parsley. So I do a generous teaspoon of parsley. And I'm doing celery flakes, which is my dehydrated celery leaves. And I'm doing a teaspoon of salt, which is roughly what's left in here. All right, next is a dash of pepper. So I just...
What are you making? Mommy.
I'm making meatloaf. I sprinkle in some pepper. And then is, what does it say? A medium onion. This is a large onion. This is the size of onions. This is actually a smaller one that we grew in our garden last year. And it's actually not rotten. That's a plus. So 1 key to chopping up onions, you need a really sharp knife. So this is how I chop it. Just slice it thinly. And then there you have it. And the second half. Now I like to add a lot of onions to the things I'm making, even garlic. It's just really healthy for you. My family might not appreciate it as much as I do, but they do in a hidden way, I suppose. All right, what next? Okay, we got to mix this up and then put it in our loaf pans. Now, I greased these glass loaf pans because my meatloaf seems to stick really bad. I'm not sure if it's because it's a low-fat meat or if it's just my pans. All right, let's mix this up and get it in our pans. This meat is really, really cold. Some people might find this is kind of gross, mixing it up with your hands, but this is how I was raised. And this is how I've always done it. Just mixing it up with my hands. There we go. So next I'm going to mix up a sauce or glaze for the top of the meatloaf. I use my homemade ketchup. We just put it into a Heinz bottle for easier, dispensing. I do about, I don't know, a cup of ketchup or so. Maybe a couple tablespoons of mustard. It's kind of to your taste because it depends how tangy or sweet you like it.
No.
And then a tablespoon and a bit of brown sugar. And you just mix that up. Make sure you get the brown sugar lumps incorporated. Okay, next we're just going to put this on our meatloaf. Just gonna lower you guys here so you can see what I'm doing. So we're just gonna spread this around. Doesn't have to be perfect, you just kind of want it to be even over top. And then we're going to bake this on 350, maybe a little bit lower because I'm doing this. It's only about 230 and we eat supper about 5. So it says 375 for an hour, but I do longer than that. So I'm going to bake this for maybe 325 for about 2.5 hours. And it'll be done in time. Now, if I notice it's done before that, I can turn the oven way down and it'll be perfect. So into the oven she goes and we'll let it bake. The oven is still preheating, so it'll come up to 325 and we'll bake it for 2.5 hours. Okay, next up, I'm just gonna prep so I don't have to do this later, is I'm gonna peel my potatoes and then I'll just soak them in cold water. So I am gonna do that right now. I'll just bring you guys down so you can see what I'm doing here. These potatoes are from our own garden. We grew, I can't remember, 500 or 600 pounds, or that's what we harvested last fall. Definitely more than what we need, but it's nice to have more just in case. And this way maybe we'll have enough to use our own as seed potatoes. We'll see how they store. These white ones definitely store better. These are the Kennebec. We also grew Yukon Gold and then Norland potatoes, but those don't store. We just use those fresh from the garden, digging them up as we need early in the season. And we sold a bunch of those as well. So that's my little tip for, not a little, it's a big tip actually, for those of you who homestead. A great way of making some extra income is to, number one, sell vegetable seedlings. I did that last year and I made a couple $100 just by advertising them on Facebook Marketplace. I did tomato and pepper seedlings, and then we sold, number two I would say is sell any extra produce you have. Plant a little bit extra and sell whatever you can. So last year we sold beets, we sold cucumbers, we sold onions, we sold carrots, we sold potatoes, beans, and we sold tomatoes, corn, tons of peppers. Jalapenos sell really well. I think that might be it. And we're planning on doing that again. So just a great little way of making a little extra money to help offset some of those homesteading costs. Definitely like selling seedlings and plant and vegetables is a great way to get, or not just a return, but also to pay for your seeds. So that's done. Literally took me like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, I guess, on the clock here. And I'll just, maybe I'll rinse them a little bit, but pretty much I just let them soak now until it's time to cook, or time to cook them for supper. And that's a huge thing that I do, is I try and get my supper prepped if I can ahead of time. Then it's not quite such a mad rush right before supper, trying to get everything, on the stove and in the oven and things like that. So that's going to sit, and I'm probably going to get my corn out now as well, and that can thaw and it'll be a quick supper. All right, so here I have got our frozen corn. And I'll just pop it right into my pot. And I'll put that on the stove, and then I can just get on with my day and do whatever else I need to do, like clean out the dishwasher, put the dirty dishes back in the dishwasher, and there you have it. I will show you a quick clip of when I'm cooking the mashed potatoes, or the potatoes and the corn, and how I mash my potatoes. And then I'll show you a clip of what supper looks like on our plate: meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and corn. I just want to say thank you guys for watching today's video. If you enjoy watching me cook more traditional type meals, leave me a comment in the comment section. and I read all my comments and I definitely get back to you, and I will try and film more of this type of video. So I appreciate you guys. I'm so grateful for everyone that watches my videos, specifically to the end. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.